Hello and welcome to the recording of this non-scheduled test flight for the new add-on to the ToLiss A321, the Neo pack. In this flight today we will head from Zurich to London Heathrow with the A321Neo with the Pratt & Whitney engine option. This is not a real flight. I mean, Swiss does not even operate the A321Neo with this engine option. I'm not even sure if they operate the Neo at all, I don't think so. But it's for testing of the system stability and system behavior during this flight. So we have XPlane 11, OpenGL with X-Enviro, ToLiss A321 with the Neo add-on and the Pratt & Whitney engine option. The flight from Zurich to Heathrow will take approximately 1 hour and 30 minutes. The weather report for Zurich at the moment is variable winds with 3 knots, visibility 2300 meter, and on the runways we have some RVRs of approximately 2000 meter on runway 28, which is our departing runway. Then of course it's foggy, patches of fog and few clouds on 100 and broken on 200, so we might get out of clouds quite early. The QNH is 1025 and the temperature is 3 and the dew point is 3 as well. In Heathrow, the weather at the moment is wind from 190 degrees with 15 knots, a visibility of more than 10 kilometers, broken at 900 and overcast at 1200. Temperature 11, dew point 10, QNH 1010 and recent rain and drizzle. So temporarily the visibility might fall to 4000 meters. So it's some interesting flight conditions. Today we can see X-Enviro by the work, and we will start with the flight preparation here at the gate 44 in Zurich. And the weather radar is off, the throttle levers are actually on idle, the ignition switch is off, the gear is down, and the wipers are off. And quickly check the parking brake. The parking brake is on. We are still on the blocks, but anyway. So then turn the nav light on and the batteries. And we have external power available, so turn the batteries on as well. So then go through the flow for the overhead. The CVR test appears not to be implemented on this plane. Turn on the adheres. Number 1, number 2, number 3. Here we are okay. Seatbelts is off at the moment. We have to refuel. No smoking is on. This we can arm the emergency lights. Econ flow is on. Temperatures are fine. Fuel pumps remain off. Then go on. The rest looks okay. Some more brightness to the screens. Flight directors off. The QNH for Zurich was that was Zurich. The QNH for the Zurich was 1025. This is validated. Yeah, could be 1025 is a feasible value. Let's see here. Yeah, it's a little bit low. It's more 1026, I would say, but 1025 will do the job. Might be on a lower location here on the airport. The airport elevation is Zurich is 1416. So we are close to 14. Anyway, that's close enough. 25. Okay, proceed with the lights. Brightness up. It's okay. It's the speed. Yeah, speed brake lever. It's almost working. The auto brakes, or let's say the ground spoilers, are not working. This function here also has to be reset on the joystick settings, but this is not a big problem now. Then here's some more brightness as well. Okay. So we have a quick look at the flight plan. Can I move you a little bit? Yes. We have an A321, the Neo version with the Pratt & Whitney engine option. The IROC cycle is the number 13 of the year 20. I assume that is correct. We go into the init page and load the flight plan, the one from Zurich to Heathrow. The alternate airport is Manchester, I think it is. Not 100% sure, check afterwards. EGCC is Manchester, yes. So the alternate is Manchester. We're not gonna need it today. The flight number is first set the alternate airport, then the flight number. Swiss 0003, non-existing flight. The cost index according to the flight plan is 5 and the flight level is 340. We align the IRS, which is a quick thing here. We request the wind and we switch to the second init page. The fuel calculated for this flight is 7.6 tons, so I set this here to 7.6, and the zero fuel weight is 71.2. The center of fuel, the center of gravity for the zero fuel weight, we will see later when we fill up the plane. On the ToLiss ICRS screen, I think it's called, just on the ToLiss setup screen. So for the moment that is okay. Then we will quickly do the departure, which is out of runway 28 with a Webbit 3 Whiskey departure. That is good. Flight plan, let's check this. Yeah, that looks correct. Then the routing will go northwest, somewhere north of northwest first a little west, then northwest, north of Paris, and then towards south of Brussels, over Brussels, and then cross the channel for the arrival into Heathrow, which is, what's it's called, LSZH? I think it's LSZH. LSZH. Yeah, here is the further entry point of the standard terminal arrival of Heathrow. Arrival is ILS 27 right. I decided the LSZH 1 hotel or LSZH 1 hotel via Begins. Put this into the flight plan. Let's see how that looks like. LSZH wrote no ETVAX, which is the altitude constraint. Tiger, then the speed constraint. Begins. Yeah, that's absolutely correct. How that looks, that's wonderful. Okay, good enough for this test flight. The flight planning is okay, so we can try to close this. See if I find out how I can reduce, I can minimize this one. I think it was like this. Yeah. So the flight planning is okay. We have 2 minutes until the IRS are aligned. Weight and balance we can do as soon as this is done. Speeds we will do as soon as this is done. The initial climb clearance in Zurich is 5,000 feet. Check that. Yes, 5,000 feet in Zurich. So this is already set. The overhead looks so far okay to what we can do. So give the IRS a little time to align, and then we're almost ready to go. As I said, we just do it a little quick and dirty from the flight planning and flight briefing point of view. It's more trying to get us into the flight. So we have about 1 minute for it to align. Say that will be okay. The load performance is, as we said, we need 7.6 tons for the flight. So we will tanker 7.7. So 7.7. And the zero fuel weight was 211 passengers, 71.2. Let's see if we can reach that. 211 passengers, 71.2. So we can, we can. Let's give it a little like this, 71.2, something like that. The center of gravity for zero fuel weight is now 27.6. So as the IRS is aligned, I apply these load settings now. Yes, 27.6. Second page slash 27.6. Okay, let's see, that is okay. Block fuel is okay. Let's see, the fuel prediction would be 4.4 tons at the destination, which is fine. Sounds a little high, but maybe because of the long routing to the alternate, so it's feasible for sure. and we are fine with that. Copy the active into the secondary flight plan. From the performance point of view, we can have a look now what we need. Plugins, open ICC screen. We go for 1 plus flaps on the flight plan active runway. On the active flight plan runway, the departure is runway 28, so we have 144, 151, 154, and the trim is exactly neutral with that what we selected here. So 1455 is the flex temperature, 144, 151 and 154. The flex temperature is 55 and the flaps is 1 with a trim of 0. Yes. So this we don't need anymore for the moment, only to disconnect the externals. Now we turn on the APU. We can also turn on fasten seatbelt signs now. Okay, turn on the APU. So the APU is spooling up. APU is available, 100% RPM is reached almost. Yes, here it is. Bleed on. And we can turn the external power off and the fuel pumps on. Have a quick look at the systems. Engine display, oil quantity is 11.7 and 11.9, which is fine. Bleed air is on. From the APU both packs are on. Pressurization is okay, the outflow valve is open at the moment. Electric system is fed from the APU generator. The hydraulic system shows sufficient fluid. The fuel is equally balanced. 7.7 tons of fuel. The APU is fine. The conditioning system is applying the temperatures as required. The doors show all closed. And the wheels are okay. Pressure is fine. The flight controls are all red, so we turn the electric pump on to pressurize the system, which will bring us to a situation where from the pressure point of view everything is fine except spoilers number 3. And we should also see that here actually, but we don't. Crew oxygen pressure is 1200 psi, let's say that is sufficient. Then we are from this point of view ready to go.
Driving up.
So we turn the flight directors back on. One flight director 2, climb nav blue. Performance is set. For the next phase we give us a speed restriction of 210 knots for the moment until we are out of the departure sequence, so we don't have to rush with the flaps. Can just let it go. Should be fine. So as the flight directors are active, speed, heading and vertical speed are now dotted. Disconnecting turning the anti-skid off, Master caution is okay. Status is normal. As it is for this information. As it is for the anti-skid off.
Tow connected and bypass pin inserted. Release parking brake.
Okay, so he wants us to turn off the parking brake.
Starting pushback, and you may start
So
the
that's
engine.
what we do. Here I'm a little bit late with the beacon. It will go on now. The APU is fine. This we put on auto. This here we put on. It is on auto. I put it on. Hello? Oh. And the bleed pressure is okay, so we start the first engine, which in this case is number 2. Yeah, the pushback truck is turning us around now. Okay, N2 is spooling up. The oil pressure is rising, is already green. 22, 23, 24, 25, fuel injection, EGT rise. And the N2 goes up. Oil pressure, oil quantity is good.
Operation complete.
Bleed air is closed, starting number 1, and set the parking brake.
Disconnecting tow. Stand by.
So number 2 is up and running. Turn the electric pump off. Flaps for departure is 1. And cooling. Disconnect signal. So it will soon start. Yeah, here we go.
Tow is disconnected and bypass pin has been removed. Hand signal on the right. I'll see you next time and have a safe flight.
Yeah, nice. Hand signal on the right. Let's see that we get that hand signal. Number 1. Yeah, the hand signal is okay. Number 1 is up and running. So this back to the neutral position. Arm the ground spoilers. And check the flight controls. Full up, neutral, full down, neutral, full left, neutral, full right, neutral, pedal, full left, neutral, pedal, full right, neutral. Flight controls are checked. Max brake is applied. The APU off. Wing lights and taxi lights on. Brakes applied. Parking brake off. Taxi power. That looks good overhead. So we will choose the inner for taxiing. So now Foxtrot, November Foxtrot, inner alpha for runway 28. Now we are on Foxtrot and turn right here onto inner. Nice and slow. Yeah, we can almost see the sun breaking through the fog, the clouds. So very soon we will be out of the clouds. And then we will have nice weather for the rest of the flight. And then when we reach England, the weather will be bad again. But more stormy than foggy. So the reason why the pilot head is shaking in the cockpit here is that there is a plugin installed in XPlane 11 which is called XP Realistic. I have this one enabled, and it adds some additional immersions with regarding to sounds and let's say camera movements, things like that. So we're almost there. Terrain radar on, TARA on, weather radar automatic. Automatic. Nice and slow. Some lights. So we have a quick check if everything is okay on the flight plan. Just to make sure, yeah, that is still okay. Flight plan is still okay. Performance data is still in. That's okay. So we are ready to go. Lining up, runway 28. Cabin check. Where is the cabin check? Maybe here? Yeah. So all green. Approach sector is clear to what I can see. There's nothing to see. Okay, we are on the runway. Runway is identified. Ready for takeoff. 50%. Brakes released. Chronometer start. Fixed power applied. $80 knots. V1. Rotate. Positive rate of climb. Gear up. Level climb. And accelerate. Let's give us a higher level. Turn on the autopilot as we are flying directly into the sun. Sunglasses, yeah, turn the sunglasses on. Flying like a jar. So we release the speed. So accelerating. We are above slat speed. Speed checked, flaps up. spoilers are disarmed. Cleaning up the lights. Zero. Standard altimeter set. Flight plan, and here the progress. Progress at the moment says the optimum flight level is 360. So we would request that, and of course here we're just gonna climb 360. Okay, gear up, flaps up is okay. Passing flight level 100. Oh, did I not turn them on? Okay. Yeah, I forgot to turn on the landing lights for the takeoff. The Jura Heights. This is a really nice view out of the cockpit here, with the nice clouds. Okay, we are almost at our cruise level 360. Let's see what the performance is. Yeah, that's good. That's 362 is optimum. We're cruising at 360. That's good. So we are now approximately 60 miles from the top of descent. What's the performance telling? Optimum would be 364 and our cruise level is 360. The fuel prediction at the moment is 4.4 tons. We have speed up a little bit with Mach 0.8. Our arrival time is now in approximately 35 minutes. 34 minutes approximately from now. So for the arrival into Heathrow, we'll do the Aleso 1 hotel arrival, which brings us from Aleso to Rodno to Edvax, which has an altitude constraint of flight level 180. Then to Tiger Lima Lima Echo 01 with a maximum speed of 250 knots to begin, which we have to reach at flight level 70 with a maximum of 220 knots. In an online environment you would probably get vectors after begin, but of course there is also an initial approach after begin, which will turn left 273, yeah, that's correct, to distance 9 of begin, then a right turn and a left turn to establish on either localizer 27 left or 27 right. In our case it will be 27 right. The localizer shall be captured at 3000 feet, 2500 feet actually, and will bring us down to around 80 feet for the runway elevation at Heathrow. The 27 right is a very long runway, I think more than 3 kilometers. Let's have a look. Heathrow, yeah, it's almost 4 kilometers long, 3,900 meters with a 50 meters wide. And I just see that the weather is still the same as before. Wind 200 with 15 knots. Visibility 10 kilometers but overcast at 900, temperature 12, dew point 10, and the QNH 1009er. We will wait a little bit before we enter this into the system. Let's see. Yeah, here already asks for it, so we put it in. We go to the approach phase. The QNH is 1009er. Temperature is 12. The wind is 200 with 15 knots. The transition level is 50, which is fine. The QNH is almost standard, so that's okay. The radio altimeter for a category 1 approach, which it is, it's category 1 condition, is 200 feet radio, which we put in. ILS 27 right, we have an approach speed of 149 and a touchdown speed of 144, if I interpret that correctly, but for sure the approach speed is 149. Okay, so the data is in. The approach briefing is clear. We expect a parking at Terminal 2, so we go with a medium brakes, so we can vacate the runway a little bit early. Let's see, maybe at Alpha 9 Echo would be an intention to leave the runway at taxiway Alpha 9 and then turn left, most likely into Bravo, and then via Lima to a stand on Terminal 2. most likely. Good. So now we're almost at the channel. Another 5 minutes or so, then we're at the channel. And we will start descent in approximately 20 miles, and our first constraint is flight level 180, which we will put in as the next altitude to descend to. For the descent, we will go back to the managed speed. So about 10 miles to the top of descent. Flight level 180. Go back to the managed speed. And we'll start to descend now. Okay. Mac descent nav altitude blue flight level 180. That's checked. So the descent after ATVAX to lose this 11,000 feet from flight level 180 to flight level 70 on a distance of only 30 miles. This will require a steep, let's say steep, maybe around 2000 feet per minute descent. And we also have to decelerate at this time. So we're gonna use the speed brakes a little bit after ATVAX and manually reduce the speed to 220 knots. The next altitude will be flight level 70. Continue to descend with 2000. And we reduce the speed to 220. And we use the brakes to do that. So we are now below the profile, which is fine. We're passing ATVAX a little bit too low. We started that a little bit early, but that's not a problem. Gives us a little bit more time. Now you see we passed ATVAX and zack, we are too high. So it's good that we did that. Change the speed to 240 to avoid the amber area for the moment. 240 is fine, it's well below 250. We leave the flaps, we leave the speed brakes as they are. descent is looking good. The offset is now 1400. So with an open descent we can even improve that situation. Open descent. So we will have a little more decent rate and maintaining the speed and maintaining idle. Yes, so the deviation is now only 1200 feet from the profile. Thousand feet, 900 feet. About 20 miles to Biggins, 10 miles to Lima Lima Echo 01. Yes, 10 miles. $600, 500 feet above profile. So we go to managed descent. Okay, 220 is the speed we want, and we set flaps 1, speed is checked, flaps 1. What was the QNH? 1009er. The left turn. Yeah, Biggins 9 is the next point. The speed is 180 at this point, so we have 8 miles to go. We have to reduce to 180. We can stay on 7000, flight level 70 at the moment. Okay, we reduce now 180. Flaps 2, speed checked, flaps 2. Hey. Here's flaps 2. Okay, descending 6000 feet. Yes. Or flat level 60, I think that the transition is flat level 50, so descend flat level 60. Okay, just start the turn. Oops, zack, zack. With 180 at 6000. Start the turn. Okay, it's all looking good. Okay, we are descending now 3,500 feet. Both pointing to begins. Need a little bit more descent rate here. Speed 160. We can accelerate again after the turn if needed. Idle, that's okay. It's okay. Going down to 3000. And the landing system activated. And the localizer. Localize blue. Altimeter QNH 1009er. Okay, the distance is 11 miles. Yes, so 10 miles. Gear down and flaps 3. Speed checked, flaps 3. And then we go down 2,500 feet with a descent rate of 1,000. That's fine. Localizer star. Localizer captured. Approach. Glide slope star. Glide slope captured. And 3000 for the missed approach. Okay. And flaps full. Speed is checked. Flaps full. So we are 6 miles, 160. We are reducing to the final approach speed. Change the map. Yes, that looks good. 27 right. Cabin check. So we are on the glide, on the localizer. So we have 1400 radio now, which corresponds with a little bit more than 1400, which makes sense as we have 80 feet, around 80 feet elevation of the airport. It's a little bumpy here. Oh, 1000 feet, autopilot disengaged, manual control. Getting a little high here.
Above. 300. Minimum.
Glide slow.
200.
Well,
100. 50. 40. 30. 20. Retard. 10. 5.
a Bravo. Oops. That wasn't the nicest landing of all. But here we are. Yeah, it's the A321. I'm not so used to land this plane, as we can obviously see. Where are we? Alpha 10 we made. Alpha 9 was planned. Alpha 10 we made. Yeah, okay, not too bad. Just giving a little break here to prepare the plane after the landing. Flaps up, spoilers retracted. Terrain radar off. Weather radar off. Flight directors and systems off. Landing lights off. Taxi and runway turn off lights off. Wing lights off. APU start. And taxi power. And we go second left on Bravo. We can also go Echo and then Bravo. That's also good. Frames are good. Yeah, the landing can be improved, absolutely. Have to exercise more with the A321. But I think if I rank up on the virtual airline, I will get the chance to fly bigger planes. And then also the landing skills will improve. The APU is available. Turn the APU bleed on. Wheel temperature is looking good. It's also that XP Realistic a little bit enhances the shaking of the body on the touchdown. So without XP Realistic it wouldn't have crashed like that. I mean, we almost hit our heads on the panel. I don't think the landing was that bad, but it was not good. That's no doubt. Also the center line wasn't very nice. And of course the approach with the deactivated auto throttle. So manually controlling thrust, and then maybe also we had a gust. Could be whatever. Here we are. Maybe also when doing this approach we could go away earlier from the instruments as we have good visibility, so just leave the instruments away and focus on the puppy. So speed and approach control via throttles and puppy only. Not trying to hunt the glide slope. So we are taxiing towards Terminal 2. There is a stand 223 which I have selected for our parking. Brake fan is fine, we don't need it anymore. 75.4 tons. Switched the taxi lights off. Taxi lights are off and ready to turn. A-321 correctly identified. And here we are. Parking brake set. APU is available and engines off. Fuel pumps off. And seatbelts off. And beacon off. Yes, spool this down, spool down. Here we have no gate, doesn't matter. So we have arrived at London Heathrow, stand 223. Stop the clock. And I hope you enjoyed the flight. Hope you enjoyed looking the flight, how we executed that, and I would appreciate if you leave any comments on that. That just started with recording flights, so that's very new to me. Of course, there is a lot to learn regarding recording of flights. I hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for watching and have a good one. Bye bye.